And we are
live.
Chickity check it, chickity check it.
Welcome to
the pod.
Werkhours.
yo. 안녕하십니까?
안녕하세요.
Might be my first beer pod though. I feel like
Yeah?
it's always whiskey or tequila.
Ooh.
Oh wow, you guys go
Yeah.
hard.
You guys are whiskey type of guys?
Whiskey and tequila.
Yeah.
Tequila during the day, whiskey in the evening.
Tequila during the day.
Tequila when I need energy. I also do tequila at night because I fall asleep easily now. So I need that extra.
Wow. Well, we do have whiskey here as well.
No
Did you-
tequila, but
No
yes
tequila,
whiskey.
but yes whiskey.
I actually did see a bottle of tequila over there. I could see that you're
really?
hiding that from me, but I did see it over the Herradura.
If Anthony ever disappears in the middle of this podcast,
Yeah.
no.
Bow,
Where
get
he
the tequila, Bow.
My name is Anthony Lee. I am one of the co-creators of Kinjaz with Mike. Most people probably know us for, putting the crew together and doing dances on shows like ABDC or NBC's World of Dance or whatnot. But I also do a bunch of YouTubing. We kind of grew up in the YouTube era, so we was just posting videos on our YouTube accounts like Michael Song and Floney back in the day. And now I currently co-host a YouTube comedy news show called Just Kidding News as well. But that's the most of it. We just do a bunch of stupid, silly stuff online. We dance, we wiggle, we talk, we joke around, and that's kind of how life is.
Nice.
Really good self intro.
Yeah, that's
really
perfect.
good.
In short, my name is Mike Song, and I'm also one of the co-creators of Kinjaz, as Anthony said. And choreographer, producer. Also, been doing more work in Korea as well recently. So there it is.
That's an interesting thing to start off with.
Yeah.
What brings you guys to Korea?
The funny thing is, I was already going out on a kind of like a teaching tour. I was doing a judge performance and showcase in Vietnam for this large dance event that happens annually called Summer Jam. So I was there in Vietnam, and then because I'm already on this side of the world, that's usually what we start bunking up different gigs and stuff, because other studios usually want you, but splitting the cost of airfare and the logistics of what's the word I'm looking for? Just getting used to even things like jet lag and stuff. You want to just kind of do everything at the same time. Right. And the season's nice. So I ended up bunking on some gigs in China. I was in Beijing and Kunming recently, literally yesterday, just doing more teaching and stuff like that. And then I hadn't been to Korea in 7 years pre-pandemic. It's been a long time since I've been back here. I was like, man, I really want to go to Korea. So I just personally was like, hey, yo, let's just add it to the trip. I don't care if I'm teaching or anything. I just want to stop by. And then he just happened to be here at the same time. I was like, what? So I was like, what hotel are you at? So we just booked the same hotel. Nice. And then now we're just out here chilling. And he's like, you want to jump on a podcast? I was like, cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, so you were at the RF Jam, Summer Jam.
Yeah.
Were you there too?
No, actually. So I got to Korea. I've been here for 10 days now.
10 days,
so I got
okay.
here on March 10th. And so, I've just been here on a project. When does this podcast release?
Ooh, say the project regardless. Say it regardless.
Yeah, say it.
That will determine
We'll
if I
we'll
disclose the details.
It's not Street Man Fighter.
Oh, wait, I want to talk about this too. Wait.
Am I allowed to say that? That's definitely not what it is.
When is the show out?
May 27th is the airing.
May 27th?
Yeah, I think this will come out before. Right.
That's why I'm saying it's not Street Man Fighter, okay? I think we're in the clear there.
Okay, so it's not Street Man Fighter.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. Is that
Street Man
okay?
Fighter.
Are you going to get in trouble?
We'll bleep it. We'll bleep all of it.
Yeah, bleep what
Just bleep the man. Street Man Fighter.
Yeah.
Well, before we move on, I think it's also important to talk about work hours. What we do. Do we give some context at all?
Sorry.
So deep.
It's work hours spelled.
It's spelled as twerk, but essentially
Yes.
it's just...
It's twerk hours without the T.
Got it.
So
Work hours.
Work hours.
Right.
That's
but it's a troll on the fact that we get to meet and have conversations with dope people like yourselves during our work time. And I don't know how, but it got through to our, the corporate ladder. And, it became this thing where we got the nod to go ahead and keep doing it. And,
Congrats.
it's an honor to meet you guys. Yeah.
So the reason I found out that you were coming to Korea because I saw a post about you doing a workshop here.
Oh yeah, for feedback. Yeah.
For feedback, and I saw you were doing a post, like a workshop too.
Yeah,
And I was like, wait, they're coming to. I thought you guys were just coming together, but you guys were coming completely separately.
Yep, totally separate.
Wow.
Yeah, like all my Korean friends here, like you included, everybody was like, you guys are coming to Korea. They just always, when you hear our names, you're just like, they're together at all times. I know a lot of people think that.
I see,
We share
I
the
see.
same bed. Nothing.
So 7 years, huh?
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
really long time. I mean, last time I was out here, I was here with Ving, and this is just a true story. Because this blew my mind. It's like a core memory for me. I came out here and we were here training. I think it was with YG's like young up and coming artists and stuff, and they put us in this like super tall hotel. It's like the tallest hotel in Seoul. I don't know which one it is. The tallest, right? We're on like the 40-something floor or something like that.
Is this the Lotte
Maybe.
Yes,
by
I think.
잠실?
Yeah.
Yeah, so at that time, I wasn't super familiar with this concept of people going out to like the parks and doing public just like K-pop dances, right? And in this hotel, it's just like one of those floor-to-ceiling like glass windows, right? So I like stood out there in all my glory, butt naked. No, I'm just kidding. Sharing this room with Ving, and then I like looked down. I'm like, look, dude, they're doing the K-pop dance stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, wouldn't it be crazy if they were doing our K-pop dance too? It's like, yeah, that'd be crazy.
Wow. They are?
Oh shit, they're doing our moves right now.
Oh.
And he ran over and they were literally doing one of like I think we had just done something for Icon and they were doing one of those choreographies and it just blew my mind that could happen.
Wow.
I mean, for our audiences who might not know, they do a lot of choreos for different K-pop bands as well, training as well, right? What are some iconic maybe choreographies that our audience might not know about?
Just on the way over here, Mike had just told me that so we've been recently doing a lot of work for Treasure. And shout out Treasure because I actually love their music. It's like really good. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you have to do K-pop music and it's kind of like, oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
Right.
Treasure always is like, that's a good song. It's really catchy. It's just like it's got that vibe. Shout out Treasure. And he was like, yo, the most recent one that we just choreographed, shoutout, just came out. And we had also just done Yellow for them, which came out like the week prior. So like I haven't even seen these music videos yet, but all that stuff came out. So we work a lot with Treasure. We're really thankful because I think what's dope is that like they hit us up for Kinjaz to choreograph for them, and it's cool in terms of what the fish and chips. What the fish and chips?
감사합니다.
Kinjaz has so many different choreographers, whether it be like me and Mike or Ving or Bam or Nick Joseph or Jason Lin or Kevin Yerva or Kevin Wing or Pat or whatever, right? So that we have so many different people kind of on the Rolodex of like what we can use to put together a number. And oftentimes what we like to do is we'll grab a track and then we'll split it up. We'll have like 5 guys jump on the same song so that there's just a different expression. We'll even choreograph different hooks to send over to let them choose if you do you like this one, you like that one, just to give them options and stuff. And Treasure, it works out really well because there's 10 of them, so there's like so many different moments where guys have to jump out and have a different personality.
Right.
And I feel like that's what we get to bring to the table with Kinjaz, bringing like different movers, different kind of like dance personalities out so that they can kind of latch on to different type of expressions.
Wow.
So Treasure's really cool.
That's interesting.
And a recent one that probably a lot of people don't know that we've been working on a lot for is Baby Monster.
What? Really? Baby Monster?
Yeah, we've been getting sassy.
Baby Monster's really fun because everybody gets to get in their like femme bag that they like never do publicly, but all of us get to like just be like, oh, this is we have to do this, but all of us are like low key like on the spectrum a little gay. Gayness is a spectrum. I don't understand. It's not black and white. It's not 0-100. Like everybody's somewhere.
Yeah.
There's definitely a funny like group chat that we have where when we just like choreograph a section of the song, we all have different sections, and like we'll just put it in the thread for kicks. Like we don't even do that for the other ones. but for this one, just to see how everyone dances it, and then there'll be like nails emojis, like get it,
Slay.
We need to see how like sassy a section's gonna get, so we could either up ours or lower it.
I would love to see the demo version of you guys just doing the full.
To be fair, we bring on women for the skeleton crew, so we model it so that they can understand. But of course, there's still tutorials and demos of the individual choreographers that are doing their section, and yeah, that's hilarious. If we ever put that together, that would just.
Oh my god, you guys should totally do it.
That's
I would liken it to like, I feel like oftentimes I feel like it's a cousin to like when you see like rappers, like male rappers, and like they write verses maybe sometimes for like a female rapper, but they get to play a different character, you know, and it's like it's just structure, right? And so I feel like there's a parallel there of like you get to be a different version, but it's like dance is dance.
Yeah. Well, but that's so interesting. As someone, I'm not too familiar with the dancing space, but to find out that you can like kind of break it down and like, you know, kind of orchestrate a move for this part, for that part, and then kind of like bring it all together. That's insane. And I guess that's how your whole crew kind of gets to work on a single project together, right?
I think that's definitely what makes it fun. Like for example, you know, we've all done like K-pops where we would be like the sole choreographer on that project too. So like from like 0 seconds to like 3 minutes and 30 whatever seconds, that's all 100% your movement vocabulary, which means you've got to explore in your own range of movement something that makes the experience really dynamic, right? You want to always take people on a ride through the dance experience, but when you have a bunch of different choreographers jumping on and each person taking a different section, then it's already gonna like go crazy, and all you got to do is kind of glue it together so that it feels good, and that's a totally different experience, but it's really, really fun.
Because normally when you guys choreograph for a K-pop band, there are many different crews that are involved, right? But for Kinjaz,
oftentimes the labels will do that. Yeah, the labels might hire like 4 different choreographers or something like that, and then they'll do their own mix and match. But then I think when people hire Kinjaz, what we get to do is we do our own mixing and matching, and they still might bring on other people as well. I just think that's something special that we get to offer.
Oh, that's cool. And then when you guys, I've been curious about this because when you guys send in the what's it called, the skeleton crew video, and then they decide to, they kind of internally kind of rearrange some parts, right?
Yeah,
they kind of change things
absolutely
up a little bit.
bastardize and mutilate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it usually okay? Like, do you guys feel, when you guys see that it has tweaked a little bit, do you feel like, oh well, or are you guys kind of like,
You got that?
actually?
I feel like it's also like a more recent thing of this generation where like maybe even like 6, 7, 8 years ago, there wasn't guaranteed that there would be several choreographers on one song. But I feel like within the past like 4, 5-ish years, now it's kind of like a surprise where like, you know, you think you choreograph something and then you actually see one of your friends be like, hey, I choreographed for this song too. And you're like, huh? And they're like, oh, and then it started becoming more normal. Like, oh, now they're keeping their options wider, so they can just get a buffet of options, and then they have someone on their home front just being like, we like this, we like this, we like this. So it's like now they're all kind of like Frankenstein choreographies of a bunch of different options.
I think I also had a way bigger ego when I was younger. So it's like you put your heart into this thing. You think like you're like, all right, I did my best, and then it's like just chopped and screwed, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, oh man. It's not like you're gonna like say anything, but you're just internally you're like, oh man. Then you get older, and you're just like, the second you like the email gets sent and the submission's away, we did, dude. Yeah, that's why when he's like, oh yeah, the music video dropped, like, oh cool. Like,
and the only reason I even know about that is because I was just in my hotel room and I just turned on TV, and when I turned on the TV,
they're doing your moves.
It was literally just like, we have Treasure comeback with Saturday, and I was like, oh, this is the one we worked at. So I just saw Anthony today, and I literally was like, dude, I just saw it on TV yesterday.
Wait, they don't tell you that it's out? There's no communication like that?
And I'm totally cool with it. Like, I think it's already just a privilege to... and I think this is a random talking point that I've just been like having these conversations with random people, because they're always like, why don't you post that you do these K-pops and stuff like that, right? We're just having this conversation, and this might be a really weird thing that only I feel, but so many people choreograph things and they're like, I did this section or I did this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, go promote yourself. Go get your bag.
Yeah.
But there's something really fun about just like moving in the shadows, right? And just doing stuff. And then like it's a part of the culture. And then you just move on. You just hope to stay in that bag where you get to continue participating in that like that machine.
Right.
And like maybe if I was like the head of a record label, I don't know. Don't take this from me. Maybe if I was the head of a record label, and then let's say somebody was like, "Oh, like this is like the main choreographer for this," but if I wanted to like, evolve that artist movement and like just have a different personality and flavor, because it's a new season, it's a new album. Now I would jump ship to like another mover, and then at that point it becomes like, oh wait, they used to be their choreographer, but now it's and it's just like that. That's all just like talk. That's all nonsense. To me, I'm like, if I wanted to get rehired, I would rather stay quiet and just work. And then if you want to move me to another artist or whatever, I'm good. Let's have fun with it. It could be a girl, it could be a guy, it could be an up and coming. It doesn't matter. It's just fun for us to just create.
Right.
So that's just a personal thing. I
that's-
just like to do it.
I feel like that's the biggest flex though, when you're not promoting yourself, but the people who are meant to know knows.
I keep bringing up like the musician like parallels because I just feel like I feel akin to like producers, right? Like it's like the same thing. I don't know. I just heard like Not Like Us, Kendrick. I heard Mustard didn't know the track was gonna be dropped until it came out. It's just he just gave Kendrick beats, and he was just giving him so many beats, and he found out from everybody else getting his phone blown up. So I feel like there is something. When I heard that, I was like, oh, like a lot of choreographers feel that too, right? It's like essentially you're constructing something for the front-facing artist, but it's just like it's like what the job is, construct it and carry on.
Do you wish it was a little bit more communicated though, or is this just something you kind of got used to? And
I think you hit it on the dot. I think now that we're getting older in our years, we're just in a totally different place than when we were in our like younger 20s.
It's zero expectation. Anything else beyond that is just a nice bonus.
Right. It's a bonus.
Like I could fantasize, like let's say if we were sitting at like a Baby Monster or a Treasure concert, I think the joy would be sitting there being like, oh shit, those are some of our moves, versus being like, hey yo, we did that. Like there's just a joy to like knowing that you are a part of something so culturally significant for so many people, and like that's it, you just are a part of it.
But before, I actually think it'd be nice to talk about Kinjaz as well, because I think a lot of our audience might not know what Kinjaz is. Like you guys have a long history, so if you can just like briefly like summarize a little bit, what
all in Korean, Mike, all in Korean.
And are you guys like viewers like English speaking?
English speaking.
Oh yeah,
we are English speaking.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do it in Korean.
All the viewers are in Sweden.
Yes, all the viewers are in Swedish. So in Swedish, please.
In Swedish,
Yes.
okay. It'd be funny to try and do it in Korean though.
You can do it. You can try it in Korean.
I'll try.
Okay.
Okay, this is a good test. Okay, 2010년에서부터 처음부터는 내가 앤티니하고 같이 대학교에 만났어요.
Oh.
Yeah. 하고 처음 만났을 때
Anthony's like
trying to
I already
understand
know
where
what
I'm
you're
at.
talking about.
Okay. I'll put in little English 단어 so like you can like you know
we
where
like-
I'm
we
at.
like some
Those will be
colors.
checkpoints.
I'm gonna ad-lib it like I totally know what's going on.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I got you. So 우리 2004년 여름에 만났어요. 왜냐면 2004년 여름에 대학교 freshman orientation. 무슨 말인지 알지? Right?
Freshman
orientation. 근데
just to make sure.
freshman orientation에 dance 있어. 근데 so 제일 끝에 dance circle 있었어.
Dance circle.
하고 dance circle
I got the answer.
그 dance circle에 우리 battle 했어. 하고 battle을 처음 만났어. It sounds so cheesy, like a freaking movie. But yeah, battle을 처음 만나고 그 1학년부터 계속 친하게 됐어. 그 다음에 계속 우리 다른 댄스 팀 했는데 같이 살았어. 4년 동안. 그 다음에 우리 졸업한 다음에 나는 계속 춤으로 일하려고 가면서 앤토니는 일 quit 할 거 했었어. Yeah. quit 할 거 했었는데 우리가 계속 같이 사는데 집에서는 같이 춤을 연습했는데 같이 팀은 안 했어. So quit하기 전에 댄스를 quit하기 전에 우리 한번 같이 공연하자. 그냥 스페셜 공연하고 우리 잘하는 친구들 다른 팀에서 다 잡고
All of them.
you know what I mean? 다 잡고 우리 한 공연 완전히 재미로. 근데 완전히 나루토 같은 느낌.
Right, yeah.
완전히 농담 많이 썼어. Right? 근데 우리 그 공연할 때 끝난 다음에 사람들 다 섰어. 우리 깜짝 놀랐어. 왜냐면 우리 완전히 농담으로 춤했는데 나루토 노래도 하고 완전히 그런 느낌인데 사람들 막 섰어. 그 느낌으로 앤토니가 일을 quit했어.
오.
yeah.
Like 3 days later.
와.
It wasn't like for dance.
어.
It was just a very like complex moment of being like, this is so sick, but like I hate what I'm doing. What am I doing?
Because you were in a corporate.
I was just doing sales, just like constantly. I was in management by this point, so and my manager just like super dicked me and like took away some opportunities, and I was like, I'm not down for this anymore. So I was just boned out. Didn't have any game plan, but it was just like right off the emotional high of like this performance.
So even more timeline context. I'm just gonna take it into English now. Like the timeline is we're the same year, or should I go back into Korean? I don't know. Like, is your audience? Are there Korean speakers though?
There are,
also?
but because when we edit,
Yeah. You always
Now they have,
subtitle it.
Korean.
they have to
yeah.
subtitle your Korean.
yeah, you're good. You're good. Choose
You're good. You're good.
whatever
can-
you're comfortable
But
with.
we're
English,
very
English,
English.
okay,
We mix
okay,
it a
okay,
lot.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So
Let's say words like Naruto in Korean.
okay.
Naruto.
When you're shitting on him, you can speak Korean.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck it. I'm gonna go Korean right now. It's just fun. It's a
Alright.
fun practice.
Go ahead.
오케이. 근데 한 가지 중요한 거는 그 우리 같이 똑같은 year인데 근데 똑같은 year인데 우리가 그 내가 4학년 했을 때 내가 그 첫 번째 시즌 America's Best Dance Crew 했어. So 1 year 동안 내가 학교 안 갔어. So 그것 때문에 앤토니는 제대로 졸업했어. 앤토니는 제대로 졸업하고 나는 그 쇼 했으니까 또 1년 가야 됐었어 학교. So 그것 때문에 얘는 벌써 출근했어 그 1년 동안. So that's why he was able to like move to, you know, he was in his progress in corporate land, whereas I had gotten a taste of some version of dance professionally. So that at least made me want to be like, oh, maybe I should just try this after college still. Then fast forward, we perform. Anthony's like, F this, I'm gonna dance. And then fast forward, 난 그냥 2014년을 갈 거야 이제. Okay?
Okay.
갑자기. boom, fast forward. yeah. 2014년에 이제 여태까지 앤토니도 이제 계속 막 춤 완전히 성공했어. 오케이? 혼자서. 나도 혼자서 성공하고 우리 계속 세계 막 많이 돌아가고 했지만 킨저즈랑 같이는 많이 안 했어. 혼자서 계속 했어. 근데 그 한 3년 4년 동안 우리 그 잘하는 친구들 계속 꿔놨어. Like 잘하는 친구 하고 maybe 스페인에 친해졌어. 우리 같이 여기 가르치니까. 아니면 이 친구는 뭐 브라질에 친해졌어. So 많은 LA 코리오그래퍼지만 LA에 많이 같이 안 놀았어. 근데 우리 LA 똑같은 LA 친구들 스페인에 만나니까 계속 친하게 됐어. 그 4년 동안. So 4년 지나니까 우리 킨저 조금 더 세게 빡치자. 근데 이제 이 친구들 다 친하게 됐어. And we're all having such unique experiences around the world. So it's like a fast forward to getting closer with a lot of these dancers, right? Maybe when we were competing with them, there's like, we're going to hang out with our team. But when you're like having a whiskey in Spain and you look around the room and there's only one other person from LA and it's your friend that you used to compete against, but you're like, yo, we're the same. You get
Also, we're like the only Asians in like Germany or like Sweden or something like that. And it's like, I know you.
And so I think that's like sometimes like at least within the dance community, a lot of people would say like, oh, Kinjaz is like an all-star team. Did you guys just pick like like the best guys and that's it. And it's like, no, actually, yes, but it wasn't starting from that. It really came from the byproduct of traveling together and getting close on these trips, having unique experiences together. So it kind of fast forwards our bonds in a way. And then 2014년부터 나하고 앤토니하고 우리 친한 친구 조나탄 씨라는 친구가 그 시간에 World of Dance 미디어 디렉터 했었어요. 근데 그 시간에 이 친구 우리 비디오를 맨날 찍어줬어요. 그래서 그 시간에 우리 존 씨한테 우리 이제부터 Kinjaz like 세게 가고 싶어. 근데 존 혹시 World of Dance 나오고 우리하고 같이 컴퍼니 만들고 싶어? 왜냐면 우리 그 아는 거 사실은 그냥 댄서하고 컴퍼니 만들 수 없어, right? 댄스는 더 크게 만들고 싶으면 it's everything. It's videography, it's design, it's branding.
Right.
And so 그 스스로 조나탄 씨 잡고 훔쳤어. World of Dance. 그 다음에 우리 또 하나 친구 Nick Kim, shoutout Nick Kim, also video 친구 우리 road trip 갔어. 오케이? 우리 이 road trip에 가서 뉴욕에서 LA 운전했어. 같이 조금 mind reset 하게.
But it wasn't like New York, like LA. It was like LA.
How long did that take?
3 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah.
생각보다. Oh, actually 3 weeks. That's like a month. Oh shit. Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so basically that was like our time to 완전 리셋하고 싶었어. 우리 컴퍼니 만들기 전에 조금 더 천천히 하고 조금 라이프 익스피리언스 경험 조금 더 갖고 뉴욕에서 LA 그 시간 동안 우리 어떻게 컴퍼니 만들고 싶어 그런 생각 많이 하고 또 fast forward 2014년부터 What's the next checkpoint after 2014?
America's Best Dance Crew.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Because we opened the dojo, but it's like we had just barely opened it. Really, it was ABDC.
No, we didn't even open it yet. Yeah, we didn't open it yet.
Oh yeah, we had to fundraise for it.
Yeah, you guys
We
did a
incorporated
fundraiser.
it. We made the LLC, but we didn't open it yet.
So, 우리 okay, fast forward 1년. yeah. 세계 가면서 America's Best Dance Crew 또 있었어. So 그 America's Best Dance Crew에 원래 그 시즌은 Kinjaz 원래 안 하는 시즌에 됐었어. 왜냐면 그 시즌 이름가 Season of the Champions. So 여태까지 이겼던 팀들 우승한 사람만 팀 있는데 so 우리 첫 번째 시즌에 챔피언 안 하고 근데 내가 첫 번째 시즌 했어 내 팀하고 같이. So 우리 멤버들 있으니까 alumni 있으니까 살짝 들어갔어 그 시즌으로.
오케이.
살짝 들어갔으니까 그 America's Best Dance Crew에 많이 성공하고 그 한 퍼포먼스가 우리 Kinjaz Dojo 불렀어요. 하고 그 Kinjaz Dojo 부르고 그 쇼 끝난 다음에 우리 처음 스튜디오 오픈했어요. LA에 Kinjaz Dojo. Yeah. And so major moments of going and then 조금 fast forward 하면 우리 스튜디오도 여러 개 열고
와우.
What's the next checkpoint that we choose to share? You want to go into China and you want to go
China
off
would
China?
probably be a huge one.
Yeah.
Yeah, China.
What happened in
is
China?
huge,
What happened in China?
Yeah, like we met an amazing partner. I went out there in like 2014 in March. Met Coco. She had just started this company called StudioH at the time. And at this era too, like nobody wanted to go to China. Everybody who went to China, like to teach or whatever, would just get like not paid or like certain issues. It's very like not as user friendly as a lot of other Western culture influenced like worlds, right?
Yeah.
So China's very difficult. Language barriers, transportation, food ordering, whatever it is. So it's just complex. But I was like, man, I'm Chinese, I should go. So I went, met this amazing person right at the start of our Kinjaz arc, and right at her start of like her studio business as well. Then I was like, yo, you have to bring back the Kinjaz. And so like later that year, she brought a couple more of us, like me, Mike, Pat, Bam, John Shi out. Totally lost money at that time on us, but it's okay because that was like the budding era. And then we're like, she wanted to start a dance competition, right? And I was like, I think we should do it like this. And then we ended up creating something called Arena Dance Competition.
Oh, that was so cool. Anyways, yeah.
Which is 10 years ago
Yeah.
now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So we started Arena Dance Competition, and then we ended up opening up a Kinjaz dojo in Chengdu as well. And that was like the first of those. Arena competition would end up going to like Singapore as well, and then we would eventually bring it to LA. We even expanded it to an arena dance camp that encompasses it. Plus we did Arena Kids a couple times, but then the pandemic ended up slowing all of it down.
Yeah.
I mean, during this era, we also ended up opening up a studio, not just in Chengdu, but we opened one in Beijing. Then we opened up a huge complex in Shanghai. And then we opened up a huge complex in Los Angeles, and we never even got to the grand opening in LA. We got to the soft opening, and then the pandemic hit. And then that just
Oh no!
tanked all of it.
I remember when you guys like posted that the dojo in LA was closing. I was like, no. But it's back.
It's only online now. Yeah. So now, fast forward.
Yeah.
So
That was a lot of fast
완전히,
forwarding.
yeah. That was so much. You went through China so fast. That was such a crazy chapter.
Yeah.
But now we're in this new era where there's like so much more of like a digital focus for us. We have like an online program called Kinjaz Dojo, kinjazdojo.com. And now we're also in a phase where it's a lot more behind the scenes work, as Anthony was talking about as well. And what's front facing, besides the brand, like we have a clothing brand as well, and we've done a lot of collaborations, whether it's like toys or different clothing collaborations. So there's a brand aspect as well. Oh my gosh, I was about to skip over. This is going to sound crazy, but during the pandemic, we also started our own instant noodle line.
Yes.
I'm just going to say instant for now.
What?
Yeah. And so marketing and branding was just all of a conversation that we've always been interested in. And through one of our partners, Alex Kocherviwat, who is just a mastermind when it comes to CPGs and food now, all sorts of food. He's a longtime friend of ours. And we started Kinjaz Noodles in, is that 2021 now?
I think so.
Yeah. And so, it's available online, kinjaznoodles.com. It's on Amazon as well.
I've been wanting to taste those.
Yeah.
I've been so
but you can't get it in
curious.
Korea.
Can't get it. You need to be in.
Yeah.
But I remember just like
Yeah.
seeing all the you guys did so many like
먹고 싶다.
posts.
Yeah.
Like fun ways to like
Yeah.
market the Kinjaz noodles. I thought it was
Thank you.
yeah, but it's still you guys are still making
Yeah.
noodles.
So the noodles are still going, and now we're in this era where, we're just kind of like as we kind of like grow and evolve, we're just expanding what this generation means for Kinjaz, and now we have like a lot of like the younger generation members, where some of our, people who we considered students at one point are now like full on heavy hitters in the game right now and are like internationally renowned, and so we're getting to like this cycle of like some of our like our earliest friends, students at one point, are now crushing it, and they just put together a performance at Vibe, a guest performance at Vibe, and that was like fully directed by the younger generation, and they're just like crushing it now.
Oh yeah, we just started like our Kinjaz youth program as well. I think we've been talking about it for years, but like it's one of those things where it just depends on where you're at in life too, right? Like we're also at an era where the reason why there's even a conversation of like younger gen that are like doing stuff is because a lot of us have like maybe we've moved to different places. I moved out of state now, like people have like have started having kids, people like bought houses, like people are just like onto that next phase of life, so they can't just like show up to do a dance video every like Monday through Friday, whereas like younger people can. But going over that part of the hill gives you and affords you like other ways to like reconnect into the ecosystem of the dance world and the community and the culture and stuff. And it's like I feel like that's just kind of like the beautiful natural cycle of it. The older you get, the more you focus on like the younger. You know, now we're going back into like our teaching and our training bag, but like for the next generation of people that are even younger than our young gen right now. And who knows, they may grow into those, you know, members as well later. But yeah, we're just in that kind of full circle phase now. And like there's literally like kids, like I'm talking like 14-year-old to like, you know, the guys that are repping on stage right now for the crew that are like in their late 20s or whatever, to like all of us in our like later 30s that are just kind of like doing other things, like coming out here drinking beer and talking about it. This is our job. We're doing this is as powerful as a dance video for us. Get here, drink some beers, and talk about Kinjaz' story.
Wow, and 15 years. You know, that's like crazy. I mean, for me, just like as like an observer, I feel like I was able to kind of see all these little changes, and the way Kinjaz was growing was amazing. Like, no, but it was kind of like watching like an anime, you know, series, and you see like the development of a character, and it's like slowly like conquering one challenge at a time, and like growing into this massive like. So that was.
You guys watch Solo Leveling?
So
No.
I've seen a couple of episodes. It's Korean, right? It's a Korean manhwa.
It's the best.
Is he good?
Is it good?
It's so good.
He was just showing me it just took #1 on Crunchyroll as top rated anime.
Really?
Whoa.
Is it still called an anime though when it's Korean manhwa?
I don't know, but it's being considered that.
It's
But yeah,
considered
yeah,
anime.
yeah.
How, is it like one season for now?
It's
Two
in
seasons.
it's right at the end of the second season. Like
Okay.
literally
Alright,
next week
alright.
is the season finale.
You know, I don't know if this is the same anime or the Solo Leveling. I think like he starts off as like this like essential nobody.
Yeah, E-rank hunter, weakest
yeah.
hunter in the
The
world.
weakest
Yeah.
hunter, and then he
Becomes like a
levels up.
yeah.
He gets like this immediate like glow.
Yeah.
Like he
Wow.
starts
He's
off
all
like
buff. Everybody
Yeah.
starts liking
He
it.
starts getting, like-
he gets the Riz.
Damn.
The Riz levels up
I'm like
hard.
wait, that's a little bit
Craziest
too
puberty.
dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, he went from like, you know, like
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about the right anime.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
It's
talking
good.
about-
Yeah.
It's good.
So
But it's like
Wow.
Jim Bro Riz, right? It's like it's like the other guys are like, I feel his aura.
Right.
No, the ladies feel it too, though.
How was your experience with Street Woman Fighter?
I do feel connected to the Korean community because I do know a lot of Korean dancers, and so even when I showed up for Street Woman Fighter 2, I actually knew almost at least like one person from every crew. Like I'm not even talking just like know of them.
Yeah.
Like we've known Kirsten through other events. She's taught at dojo. Like I go way back with Leah, actually Mina too. Like I had met her like over, I want to say like 13 whatever years ago, like long time ago. Even Baby Sleek, like there's like a
yeah.
video of us like sessioning together online. Like all like I'm walking around, and so I'm also feeling like, well, and Waxy, like you know, like totally like.
Yeah.
So it was a weird feeling because a lot of them I considered my peers as well, right?
Right.
But it was also, just motivation to like try and do the best job I can as a former competitor on TV shows. I just want to give them the respect that I wanted to receive when we competed on those shows. So. Yeah, it was a crazy experience. Super honored to be able to like connect with Korean culture in that way. Yeah.
Was it because like, you know, Street Woman Fighter really hit off in Korea. Have you seen the shows?
I've seen some of like the clips.
Some of the clips. It really hit off in Korea, and these dancers are essentially celebrities now. Like Pada's like,
Yeah.
she has like an entire fan club now.
Yeah.
Like, what's your take on that? Just seeing it.
I mean, I love it. Honestly, I'm sure if you want to go down a rabbit hole, you could find cons about anything.
Yeah.
But generally, I love that. I think it's anything that can promote dance on a global level and allow them to and give them more production capability
Right.
to express their artistry, even though it's confined to whatever parameters. Still, when do you have the production power when you're not funding it on your own to be able to create like a music video for the smoke challenge where you're riding in on a motorcycle, there's fireworks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to be able to do that, I think that's what Street Woman Fighter has innovated compared to any dance show that's ever been done before, which is it's innovated, I think, a lot of things. But one of the things is that it implemented the producing a video for the dancers. Because I think what that does is all other dance competition shows, you put them on a stage, right? And there's an element of that still makes them feel like a contestant. Right, and they could bring the amazing thing, but once you're gonna always cut back to these judges. Right, you're gonna come back to this guy. Who cares what this guy thinks, right? Just clapping, truly. But what this show did is, hey, we're gonna give you the means, and they're actually, I'm hearing from production that like they're not just like, the directors are not just fully directing them. The choreographers get to execute a vision as one. Like, can we do a shot like this? They're really doing that. And so they're really positioning them to be superstars. And look what's happening. They've propelled them to become superstars. And so I feel like, how is that any different than how K-pop labels, how any music label positions a talented person? You put production behind them, you give them the means to project their artistry in a certain way, then the perception of them completely changes, right? So it's so I love that the dance show has kind of spoon-fed the audience, like, yeah, these dancers are incredible, right? Give them the ability to make themselves a star. So I love what the shows are doing, to be honest.
I don't know how much you can spoil about the next season, but what are some things that you think like the audience should look forward to?
High level. Very high level.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
That's all I'm gonna say.
Tell them who won.
So give us like a you know, what's
Are you even allowed to talk about it?
After it airs?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure after.
Right.
But yeah.
Hush,
what's
hush.
your question?
Sorry.
Wait, let me think.
Wait, can I ask, like, when you were talking about how they gave the means to like create a video, what's the craziest, or at least one of the craziest things you saw happen?
So I can only speak on the last seasons because the new season is still happening.
Okay.
Right? So all those things are yet to happen.
Right. I see.
Right.
Okay.
Whereas in the old seasons, I mean, you guys saw it. Like I remember for like in Street Man Fighter, for the Hepping challenge, when they did the finale version of it.
Yeah.
I feel like they got like, it looked like 1,000 extras.
Right.
And the shot was like, it looked like 1,000 people doing the Hepping challenge, and then like, once the fireworks hit, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
And then Street Woman Fighter, you got just Pada coming in on a motorcycle. All the leaders have motorcycles of their own in that last shot. Like, I'm just like,
damn.
This is how it should be done.
Right.
Give the dancers a platform, especially when, on the flip side, right now we talk about like pathways for dancers. On the other side of the world, not the other side of the world, on the other side of the spectrum, it's kind of going backwards. No disrespect to TikTok, but the dances are getting shorter. The production is minimizing.
Right.
Yeah.
And people are saying like, oh, that's my way to make it. And that kind of like, you know, not to say that's not its own type of artistry, but when there are so many tools at hand, the world and dance culture is like shrinking it. Make the dance shorter, make the dance simpler, make the dance
Catchy,
such and such,
yeah.
right? Shrink the screen, shrink the parameters.
Right.
And Korea came out and said, give them everything, give them all the means to go hard. So I'm like, yes.
Damn.
Like, America, take no. Like, the rest of the world can take no. Like, I full on believe that. Yeah.
Speaking of dance videos, I remember back in like 2014, 20 something, it was like a big thing to like always have a story. So like you have a dance video, and there's always like a bit of like acting or like someone picking up a call and being like, hey, yo, man, dang, I don't know, man. And then, dang, and then it's like, zoom. And then zoom, and it's like everybody standing cool, and da-da-da-da-da, and it's like the choreo.
Right.
And then it ends with a bit of acting as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes the acting scene is like really long. It's like a minute, 2 minutes,
Right.
and then the
I
choreo
love the description
begins.
of this.
The
Hey, yo,
breakup.
man.
But
Hey, yo, I don't know, man.
Dude, we should film a concept just like that.
Hey yo, man.
hey, yo, man. No, but I remember like that was like there was always like
Right. There's a storyline, an arc. Right.
I kind of miss that
which is dance. Like dance is storytelling, and so like that was just like the natural arc. I feel like in that YouTube era, that's like it was awesome to see what everybody was creating, and then like that has like people have like lost the a lot of people have lost interest in creating in that way, right? And so
because it's also like, you know, back then we also work in a world where you do what is favorable, right? And it's like we were doing longer form content back then because you would also like less people were doing long form content in general. So the engagement, the viewer count, the comments, the likes or whatever will reflect that. Nowadays, if you do that same, like you're putting all this production, you put something out, and then it's like it's gonna get way less views than like a quick ass TikTok or IG reel or something like that you can make with zero production, no lighting, just your iPhone, 20 seconds, and that engagement's way more shareable because it's relatable, it's easy, it's the way the world consumes and communicates content, you know. So you end up just naturally, even we will fall towards like, well, what's the point of like spending thousands of dollars on a production when we could just not spend any of that money, do this, get 10 times more viewership, and like everybody's happy. This is what you want. This is what you want.
And I think it goes back to the whole how like the dance trend is so fast, like everything happens so quickly. I think back then it's like the dance videos wouldn't come out as often. But when it comes out, you know it's out. So everyone's like tuned in. They're like, hey, they just uploaded a new dance video, and you're like all watching it like this together. Whereas now it's like you see all these like all the battles are filmed, you know, all the performances are filmed, and then the dance videos are like this, and there's TikTok. So you're constantly bombarded with consumption.
It's so true. It's like saturated almost.
Yeah.
And it's not anybody's fault either though, because it's like it has just grown so much. But it's true. Like there's just so
we're
much
all part to blame.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? 'Cause like even to create content where somebody one day is like, I can't wait for the next dance video, that pushes the culture 1 inch at a time. And then it got here, which is a great thing. Like because we all did what we did, everybody from the people producing the content to the people watching it and thinking it was dope enough to like watch and actually sit and subscribe to, like that just pushes the culture in one sense forward, maybe not necessarily like the artistry in general, but like, you know, it pushes the culture so far that now it's there's enough of a commercial game where a TV production company will put together a show because it's famous enough, and then because of that, like, you know, we go into this era where everybody wants to do it, but if everybody's going to do it, then the entry level needs to be lower and the relatability needs to be higher, so it's just a natural part. But everything works in a weird cycle though, right? Like when we all start throwing up watching all these videos all the time, it's gonna go back. We're gonna start wanting our flavor is just gonna reattune to wanting something else, longer form content, you know, like something that has a storyline that shows something more than just the steps, you know, like nuances, we're gonna want to come back to some version, not the same thing, but a different version of it. And like by that point, it's like who are the champions of that era of artistry and content production,
You know, you guys came to Korea. I just remembered you posted something yesterday. He wrote.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
So he wrote, "Let's go" in Korean.
Yeah.
But he wrote, you know how like in English you would write "Let's go" and you like elongate the O to kind of like show excitement. He did that, but with Korean, so it was like "Let's go," o. So he was like just throwing like middle fingers.
Yeah. Oh.
And I've been doing that because on this trip, I've just been, you know, every time I go to Korea, I get more comfortable in Korean, right? So I just start like
trying
like
things.
figuring out like this is my version, right? Yeah. So I've been like leaving comments like, "What's up, bro?" Because I like writing "bro" as like, "bro."
What's up, bro?
I've even wrote like "Let's go, bro."
Let's
right?
go, bro.
And so I'm writing, and I wrote, and I'm like promoting my workshop, saying, "Hey, come take my class. Let's go." And then one of my homies, but literally, I've been writing this. It's the first homie to even say anything. So all my other Korean homies didn't say nothing. And one homie,
they probably just get you and they're like, oh, he don't give a fuck.
No, I saw it and I was like, wait, this is actually great for the podcast. I'll just leave it. No, but then shortly after, not like a couple hours later, he went, oh, never mind. I learned that it's middle finger. But did you know the yo is a double middle finger?
Oh.
So that's good to know.
I
That's
actually
good.
learned that recently too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah?
'Cause I've been doing the same thing as well.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Thank you.
Someone pointed it out, was like, you know, you're swearing. And I was like, oh, I was just emphasizing.
Yes.
So if you say like
Yes.
안녕하세요,
Yeah.
and then you write the yo,
Yeah,
yo, yo,
yeah.
that's like a double.
Oh. Are there any other because I write that like that in English, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Are there any other letters that you write repeated times that mean something else? The only one I heard is also like shiot a lot means something good.
시옷?
Really?
I
Like
heard that's a new gen thing. I heard it's like yeah, so maybe that means you guys are old gen.
Yikes.
Age reveal.
I heard it from because honestly, none of my peers told me. It was one of my young gen homies that sent me a DM. Was like, actually, Hyung, just so you know, like
Just so
this
you-
means that. I'm like, thank you, bro. No one else told me.
Thank you, bro.
Bro.
So then I asked him for the other slang, and all he gave me was he said this is a new gen slang, but the shiot, yeah, everyone says nice. That's like a nice way of saying like very nice. But he didn't give me the yos though.
Oh.
So I guess everyone's got their own pockets of understanding.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know, but I don't. I think there are also differences between like 크크 and 흐흐.
Right?
Oh, I know that.
Like,
I know
yeah,
that.
like
Okay,
there's a
yeah.
different
Do you know
vibe.
the
laugh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the way you laugh.
Do you know the flip one? The
You.
No,
The cry.
That's like crying. That's
Oh,
like
I didn't know
sad.
that.
'Cause that, like,
yeah, I feel like I
imitates-
get that.
Yeah, that imitates
Oh,
like
like
you.
tears down.
Right,
Looks like
right,
tears
right,
down.
right.
Oh.
I feel like that's just the Asian shit in
Yeah,
general,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
Like I see that in other characters
Yeah.
too.
Right,
Do you
right,
speak
right.
Chinese or Vietnamese or?
I speak a little bit of Vietnamese, but like a infant, like a kid, just like never graduated, still peeing in his pants type stuff. Like I might not be like, hey, where's the bathroom? I'll be like, I need potty.
Do you know how to speak 존댓말?
So I'm working on that on this trip. So like I've seen comments. Are like, who's this 반말 아저씨, right? And so,
There's one thing I
So-
noticed on the show,
Yeah.
and then even like earlier today, or like even during class,
Yeah.
you speak in 반말 a lot, but it's actually really like it's so like nice.
Yeah.
It's so like funny as well the way you say it. But I was just wondering like how's
Is that
존댓말
because
반말?
like you mainly spoke as a kid, so you're always like speaking proper to elders? type
well,
stuff?
what's ironic though is because I usually just spoke it with my parents. I should have been speaking 존댓말 with my parents,
Right.
but it's because my parents didn't care
Right.
for it to teach. Because I should have been speaking this formal version to my parents, but they didn't care.
So what's pamat?
반말 is just like so like I will say, and even on like this season, like my efforts to use 존댓말 are like I'm putting into everything now because I'm like I didn't realize because I kind of went further down a rabbit hole and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it's also so deeply about not just to like older generation, it's also a lot about people you just met and just a way to right.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I didn't realize that like I'm being so rude to like people that I just met, and then especially while on the show, like what the optics of like, hey, so when you did that right there versus like just respecting them, it's like, hey yo, versus like, you know, calling them by their name or you know like that kind of vibe, right? I didn't realize that I could be kind of disrespecting them by using that
Right.
or making it feel like I'm in this higher place that I'm clearly not trying to do.
You are a judge.
But still, but like I think that makes it worse because I feel like on other Korean shows, even the judges, I realize I'm like going down the rabbit hole because I'm like, how much is this important? And then I've been humbled to learn that I need to get on my 존댓말 game. So yeah.
See, this is Mike's solo leveling still.
Yeah. So this is my soul leveling.
Starting to get a little ripped. It's a little
Yeah, 많이 공부했어요. Yeah.
What's the hardest part about 존댓말? Like switching 반말 존댓말?
Honestly, the hardest part is now that I know, I have some like hyungs that I hang out with, and I feel a little weird that I didn't use 존댓말 with them for so long, and I'm like, oh shoot, and like to go into 존댓말 with them now is kind of weird. but I'm just now fully aware of how much I don't use it with them. And that feels weird for me because some of these hyungs I'm talking are like 10 years older than me, you know?
Right.
But they get it. They don't care. With me, they know.
Maybe they just were like, damn, this was a little gangster. And that's just like who you've always been.
But, I think using 반말 with friends is fine.
Right.
I think there are many different levels of like 말놔잉. What's 말놔
Right.
in English? Like you kind of adjusting.
There is no term for 말.
So the 말놔 is like when you lower your word, when you kind of go from 존댓말, like formal, to like informal.
Yeah.
So like let's just be casual. That's kind of
Right.
in
You're
Korean.
code switching.
Yeah, you're
Right.
code switching. In Korean, you would say
right.
말놔.
Right.
So when I was told, I had this 언니, and I was like talking to, and we were both going into college together, but she's like 2 years older, and she was like, "Oh, Tammy, like 말놔." And then I was speaking in 존댓말 to her, and when she said 말놔, I immediately thought I can just call her by her name.
Yeah.
So I skipped out on the 언니 and then just went like, "야, 친구야,"
yeah.
and then went full informal.
Yeah.
But then I realized later that I should have, even if she said 말놔, I should have still called her 언니.
See, these are those
Yeah,
complexities that are deep, so
Weird.
deep that I'm like, these are the things that I'm like,
And then
whoa.
and she didn't say anything, so I didn't know for a while until I kind of caught a vibe. I was like, oh wait,
What does catching a vibe look like with something so specific like that?
like when I realized other people are calling her 언니, but
Yeah.
then using
Right.
informal language.
They're like, 언니. She's like, oh. You
Yeah.
call my name. She's like, huh? 사.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, something's weird.
Yeah, we're gonna cheat.
So I think like calling someone you're close to 형 and then being 반말 is okay. But if they're like, hey, 말놔, and you're like, okay, buddy, like, okay,
Right.
친구, then it might be a little bit.
You little shit.
You know, like, so yeah, I it's just that I feel it now,
Intricacies,
but now I realize like, oh, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's like really, because the one that I really, because I'm like, yo, I kind of knew, and now I can add that easily. The one that I really never used, but now I'm like using it is like the nida or nika. I didn't, I didn't really use that, but now but I know it. But I'm like, oh, that's 존댓말, because I was kind of like aware of that kind of phrasing.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize I'm like, oh, that's formal. But it hasn't been that hard, honestly. It's just flipping the switch now and be like,
Right. Just add yo to everything.
yeah.
그랬어.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
먹었어.
Truly, like as a rule of thumb, it might not be the perfect, but like it kind of works.
Yeah.
Uh,
Have you picked up on some Korean while you're here? I mean, you've only been here one day, but
I mean,
since you visited,
ironically,
yeah.
like I've been out of my Korean like flow, but in life, I've been so exposed to Koreans. Like, where they're like, my best friend in elementary school was Korean. I went to Taekwondo. For like years as a kid.
Oh.
So I was just like, like understanding random shit like 사범님 or 봄새 or like, like random
차렷.
vocabulary. You just know vocabulary, right? Or like counting, just knowing how to count in Korean. And then going to like high school, I went to a place called Sunny Hills High School in Fullerton, which is like the Korean diaspora of like
Yeah.
Southern California. So all Korean. So a bunch of my friends, all my first girlfriends were Korean. Meeting Mike, like my best friend is like Korean. Everything is Korean. So I'm always exposed.
My mom speaks to him in Korean. It's just so Korean, where like she's just like, F it.
Like no attempts.
Yeah. But you look like you understand, you're like, even when Mike was like doing this whole, Kinjaz talk in Korean, you're like, and piggybacking off of that,
It's all context. As long as you understand the context, you can get away with it.
So
Growing up, my family was always like, every like I think Asian mom does this to their son, especially if it's the second son. It's just that like, I'm not your real mom. Like I found you in a trash can type stuff, right? And the only reason why that like low key was believable was because everybody in the extended family was like, hey, he looks Korean. Everybody would just say that to you. Maybe not now after I have like facial hair and stuff like that, but like back then growing up, people would always be like, dang, you look Korean. Anybody guessed my Asian? You're like, you're Korean. And
But
be
also
like,
with your last name being Lee, I think.
yeah, I
Lee.
understand that. I understand that from a
Yeah.
very Chinese. But if we go back to the lineage and foundation,
Yeah.
it's all from China, baby. It's all from
Okay,
China.
okay.
You can spell it however you like. Look at your characters. It's all clean and nice, but it's from China.
But it's more so just if your last name was Z-I, you would
yeah.
just be definitely not Korean. It opens the possibility.
I had a question where, with music, there's a thing called copyright, right? In the dance scene, is there something where dancers get protected and they get a certain ownership of whatever moves they are able to create?
There's a lot of people working on that right now,
Uh-huh.
but so I think it is quite subjective. There
Uh-huh.
isn't like a end all be all like policy on that,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think that straight up, like the truth of copywriting with choreography is that choreography is like inherently attached to music.
Right.
So the idea of 100% ownership of movement, in my opinion, I think there's some people who are pushing for choreography copyrights that I totally respect the intention. But in my experience, I find that because it's always attached to music, there's always going to be shared ownership with whoever owns the music. So I feel like if there's ever a true on paper 100% ownership, it starts with creating the music itself. Otherwise you will always in a sense like be partnered in ownership with whoever created the music. That's just my opinion though. I wouldn't say that that's like what everybody thinks, and there are definitely a lot of notable dancers, entrepreneurs that are working on this exact topic, but it's not so clear cut.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I also think, like, again, subjectively, let's say I choreograph a routine, and then let's say people like copy it, and like, what's the use case of them copying it? Maybe they're teaching it and making money off of it somewhere, or maybe they're performing it, saying it's their own movement, and then also making money off of it somewhere, right? So like those are the two instances where it's like ethically an issue. There's a moral like problem with that. But then at the same time, like dancers and our version of artistry, and this is in the context to the idea that we're married to even to music and stuff like that, we're like oftentimes so at kind of like the bottom of the totem pole of artistry with a lot of other things, because we're either associated with music or we're accessories to like this artist, we're backup dancers, or we're just like the hired dancers for this club vibe, or what, you know, like we're already kind of just like on this uphill battle of just trying to get our shit out there. To me, it's like if my stuff is dope enough where somebody's trying to jack it, that's flattering. Me putting in time to try and stop that is either me putting in time to do that or me putting in time to make another dope thing that somebody's gonna try and jack.
Right.
You know, like I might as well move on to the next, because dance like fashion is way too quick.
Right.
It's like this, even if you like fought super hard to copyright like a routine, in 3 months time nobody cares about that routine, to be completely honest. You know, like you should be making the next thing. Very, very few dance choreographies are like so legendary that everybody knows and gets it.
Right.
Like non-dancers. But by that time it's like, if you're gonna fight that battle, just make the next super dope thing, and you're gonna be spending your time way more wisely. You're gonna be making way more money anyway.
Yeah.
I do have a hot take actually though.
Ooh.
It just popped into my mind right now. As you said something. I am aware though that like I mean, especially in the States, I'm sure it's happening all over the world. Like K-pop dance classes, right? Where they teach like existing choreographies, like someone else's choreography in a sense. This is just off the top of the dome. I haven't got nothing worked out. But I do think, wow, it'd be a cool concept for these choreographers that teach K-pop classes to have to pay a royalty to the choreographers. Because that is a booming, like, I know it's a booming industry, and the way that I know it's booming is because I have like family members, nieces who are like taking these K-pop choreography classes, and oftentimes like I know who choreographed those routines.
Right.
Yet, you know, there are these K-pop choreography teachers that are teaching other people's choreography, are like making a living off this as well, right? So just want to say I think that's an interesting conversation.
And I think just to add on to that too, I think that's really complex. I think of it as like CrossFit, right? Remember when CrossFit was super hype?
Yeah.
Like anybody who opened a CrossFit gym, you had to pay a licensing fee for CrossFit annually in order to like be able to have that,
Oh,
right?
really? I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, that was like, because it's a specific registered style
Sport,
of like
yeah.
athleticism and gym type of like membership. You had to annually pay the CrossFit creator. I mean, they got canceled and some weird stuff happened. But the whole point is like that was a system that was put in place, right? And I agree to an extent, but I think the hard part, and again, going back to like just a business mindset,
Yeah, it's gonna go to the label.
it has to go to the label, right? Because we're talking about situations where like multiple choreographers jump on it. The label chooses to like, you know, mesh it up a little bit, and then this is the new thing. But even if they didn't jumble it up, let's say they used 100% the exact submission move from that choreographer. The difference is they bought the choreography. It doesn't belong to the choreographer anymore. I think that's a hot take.
No. I'm speaking in idealisms, right? Because that's a duh, right? Because we all know that. However, I feel like in idealisms, even if there was something along the lines of just to talk about like copyright ownership, I feel like even this is like the smallish version of a gesture would be like if it became normalized to like all K-pop choreography classes when it says, and I guess it's like almost like a dancer to dancer thing as well. Idealisms. But even if they put subtext, it always had the flyer was like, today I'm teaching, you know, this, you know, BTS routine, like choreography by Pat Cruz as a subtext. And that just became, that's how to do it. There's always, like, cause even that, and this is how bottom of the totem pole, like dancers are, like, even at our level, not even asking for the, you know, as we even like go through the layers of how this would actually work, even just the inherent value of constantly crediting the choreographer, that would even like bring some sort of value to all the choreographers in the game, right?
Ooh, be careful. But how are people supposed to know who choreographed what?
Well, now I feel like one thing that I feel like labels are doing much better, which I will commend the labels for, is in their press releases, they're always putting it out. You just have to look at those press releases. I don't know who reads those anymore, because who reads those now?
I feel like this is gonna get more and more relevant, because I think I've heard that in Singapore there are some festivals that are like focusing on dance events. They're actually, you know, creating whether it's like they're bringing K-pop artists and they're also putting like a dance event next to it. So I think what you're saying might be more and more prevalent and more important to address, right? But yeah, wow.
In idealisms, I mean, Ant's absolutely right though. Like that's the, you know, that it would essentially just be, oh, more money for the labels. However, if there was a way.
But if we knew though that the labels were making money hypothetically off of things like royalties, then when you got booked or hired to like choreograph, I think the rates would go a little bit higher, because you know that the ecosystem is even more broad, where everybody's winning, you know.
Do you guys know what it's like for music producers? Do they get royalty based off of, you know?
I think it depends on the deal that they have.
It depends on
And
their
that's an
contract.
interesting thing too, is that some record labels try to honestly, like when we used to like own dance studios, like we would get emails all the time from record labels trying to get like royalty fees off of like music played in classes. But at least for us, we just knew that there's the, and then this is like the next, speaking from a business standpoint, the next layer would be, we know that there's no monitoring, like you can't, right? So like there's there's no template for this yet, and if you can't monitor every dance studio, who is essentially like policing the structure, right? Therein lies the next issue with this choreography type of copyright. So yeah, it's very layered because it's always married to music.
I see.
A movement is definitely, it's hard to make it tangible, right? Like a tangible value, in the sense of like, I was just thinking off the top of my head, what if it's like jujitsu? Because you know how each like professor teaches, and that person would, you know, maybe make their own kind of
100%.
gym, and then they give all the props to the name, right? But granted, they might take all the profit, but it's just kind of like, hey, 100%. I learned from this guy.
100%.
That could be something applied to dancing, maybe. Whereas, who did you learn from, and or even like, where did this choreography come from? All you need to do is just shout out the name.
Oh, so complex, man. That's a whole nother.
That's another
hole.
topic.
There can be things, but again, art is like subjective too. So then it it starts going into this whole other realm.
Yeah.
Isn't it also like with dance, with movement? It's kind of like it started off within a community, word of mouth kind of thing, where it's like a culture, and then it becomes a dance step, and then that dance step inspires a choreography, and then, so it's like if you go all the way back, the origin is way down here.
Right.
So it's like a tail to tail. Is that kind of?
Kind of. It is kind of like that. And it's also really complex because like we're talking about a subjective art, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So like, yeah, somebody's experience is different from like a conceptual generalized societal history of a thing, right? And then on top of that too, there is always the off chance that two people maybe came up with the same thing at the same time on opposite ends of the world. It's like you never know, right? And then on top of that, you've got the fact that like before, I think when we were like maybe just starting to dance and there wasn't things like social media, like it was very word of mouth. So you and the lineage would be traceable, right? But then in the recent years, it's like technology. Like it got so exponentially mainstream that like now even people who aren't dancers, like everybody can somehow still do dances and stuff, or K-pop moves, or TikTok dances, or whatever. So when if something blows up that fast, you're gonna have millions of people that are like doing something and they have no idea where they got it from.
Right.
Like we saw it with random things like, do you remember the Harlem Shake?
Yeah.
Remember the social media challenge, our Harlem Shake one, where
Yeah.
people would just stand there, next thing you know, they're going crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because everybody's like, that's the Harlem Shake dance. But it's like, wait, there's actually a Harlem Shake dance.
Right. Yeah.
But like, that's low key, like, deleted. You know what I mean? Unless you really care about dance or you learned about it. Everybody else from the new gen is just like, that's the Harlem Shake. And that's just, and you can't stop it. You can't be like, everybody's wrong and stupid and evil and ignorant.
Right.
It's just things blow up fast today.
Right. Can you teach rhythm?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, some
do you
people
know-
just learn it harder than others.
Right.
Do you guys know the word 몸치 in Korean?
no.
So 몸치 means someone who cannot, like,
It's kind of like athleticism, right?
Yeah.
When you see someone who has just good control of their bodies,
Yeah.
and naturally that equates, that subsequently helps them perform better at sports.
yeah.
몸치 is kind of like someone who cannot or isn't calibrated with their body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
from what I know, it's like basically not fixable. Is it fixable?
That's crazy.
Is it fixable? It's not. I don't know. 몸치가 fixable 한가?
I feel like that's
몸치라고
me,
하면.
though. Yeah.
엄청 많이 하면 되지 않을까요?
Okay.
Good mindset. He says, can't you just do it a lot?
But what's your take on that? Do you feel that dance is learnable for everyone, or are there some people who just maybe should do something else?
I think absolutely dance is learnable for everybody, but it's just the thing is what people's understanding and perception of dance is.
Right.
Like, you know how like a kid who clearly has never taken it, like a little toddler, hears music and they're just like moving around.
Yeah.
They're moving and they feel joy because they hear music. That's a dance. You might not think it's a good dance, but that's a most genuine version of dance. That might be more genuine than a lot of people that are doing like K-pop dances out on the street who don't actually have this like certain type of authentic joy. It's coming from inside the soul, right? So like everyone can dance. It's just like, are you talking about dancing on beat, coordinated rhythm, or like moving in sync and in unison with another person? That's a completely different conversation. That's like everyone can sing in the shower,
Right.
but it doesn't mean I'm gonna like it when I hear you. But you can sing, you know.
Yeah.
So that's like, if you're talking about can everybody dance to a point where societally there's a meter of like that's decent. A lot of practice, you know. And then ironically, it's like you start to validate and learn what your role, like let's say like everybody had to be a dancer. Everybody, just like literally on the planet, you had to be a dancer. Not everybody's gonna dance the same way.
Right.
Some people are just born really, really short and stocky, and maybe they like look really, really dope doing like power moves because they're like physically more capable than somebody who's just like scrawny, lanky, and long. But maybe they look really, really good doing like waves or something like that, right? So it's like you just start to fall into what makes the most sense for your soul's expression and your body type, like what tools you're given.
Interesting. Wow. Damn. I'm ready to dance now.
Like maybe you can't like hit a beat, but maybe for some weird reason you
Yeah.
could do head spins longer than anybody else in the world. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to do that on beat in a sense.
Right. I get it. Wow.
Where you're like
damn.
physically capable of
Yeah.
like doing something wild.
Right.
Oh. There was I took a class once and someone told me like, you know, if you know how to walk, like if you know how to get on the bus, if you know how to ride, you know, like just like the everyday movements you do, you know, if that can be dance. You know, if you cook, that can be dance. Like
Right.
we overthink it sometimes. We think dance always has to be 멋있어, like super cool. But at the end of the day, it's just expression. It's just movement. But
Right,
we
right,
move
right.
every day.
Right.
So it's
100%. I think
yeah.
the whole momchi thing is like there's no barrier of entry for dance. Like everyone's invited. So I definitely don't think there's like a he can't dance. Is it? There might be a he might have trouble learning choreography or something. But like
Well, I don't like the way you're
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah,
Whatever that is,
yeah.
please stop.
yeah, but everyone's invited. That's for sure.
Right.
I like to, even on that note that you're saying, like I like to think of it, if it's like communication, I know it sounds kind of corny, but truly it's like people who have like a lot of skill, I feel like they just know, they're very articulate and have maybe they can speak a lot of different languages. You know, like 공부 많이 했어. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
means
yeah.
they have all the tools to communicate. But it doesn't mean that like if they don't feel what they're saying or they don't like have that charisma, that's sometimes like a technician at dance and like they have such a high level of skill. But sometimes someone that's like maybe their intention, their feeling is weird and they're like maybe it's very like aggressive or cocky. Sometimes like that can come off weird and people can't connect with it. But maybe inversely at a wedding, you got that dude who's never danced in his life, but maybe his daughter just got married and he's like, "Ah!" and then he knows that Bruno Mars song and he just happened to go on the one.
Right.
The whole wedding is gonna be like, that's the best dance
Yeah.
I ever felt. And maybe professional guy, but I don't know, just something, the feeling wasn't right.
Yeah.
He's got all the vocabulary. He can speak 20 different languages, but he didn't feel his speech. You're gonna feel the guy who's just like, my daughter got married, and that's dance.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's just truly communication.
I feel like Kinjaz has been through so much over the last 15 years, right? What's next for you?
I think all iterations are for next generation.
And then anything selfishly that I think we still have ambitions for, I don't think people would expect. It's like the other things that you always, you know, it's like, in the best, but like not as depressing way. You know when you go through like a midlife crisis,
Yeah.
Oh,
you've just been like doing the same thing all the time. So you're like, I need to,
Change it up.
I'm gonna go get a sports car and Botox. You know what I mean? Like you just want to do some other things because you just want to experience life differently.
Right.
I think Kinjaz might still be an outlet for some of those things. You know, might. I don't know. I'm not like alluding to anything, but it's
Yeah.
just like because we're focusing on the next generation and like youth and stuff like that, and really just kind of like making sure that whatever legacy that we were fortunate enough to experience is like at least held onto in a good way. There's still, I mean, it's not like we're all retired, aged out, and dying. There's still things that we randomly might want to do with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
it's like it's probably just gonna be really, really fun, or really random.
Right.
Those like dreams that you never got to.
Right.
I think it's because like we've always just like followed our curiosity straight up. That's why we have a noodle company. That's why like you know it's like baby steps at first. But I think that's kind of what we've always done, and it's just what is the next thing that strikes our interest, right?
wait, you guys should make a whiskey or beer brand.
We had long meetings
Yeah.
and
Really?
conversations about a whiskey, but
Yeah.
we have our own versions of expressions, whether they be like, you know, Kinjaz Convos or Kinjaz podcasts and stuff. And we always have to remind ourselves that it's really important to, in a sense, document through conversation the realness of our experience and the journey that we've kind of lived, because so many people who are exposed only to our dance movement, like take me for example. Now that you've sat down and understand a little bit more about my personality, if you watch my dance artistry, you'd be like, what the, are they the same person? But like I think to me that's my expression. What I can't put into words is what I put into my dance, and that's why I dance like that to those songs or to that movement or to that emotion. But I'm a fool on the outside, and it's like to be able to express and share who and what you are, like, I don't know, it just gives a validation that you existed in this blip of time. So like I humbly thank everybody who gives us a chance to just like speak about our experience and has genuine curiosity about what we've like experienced in the world.
Every time me and Ant like retell our story, I feel like this is our first time telling our story in this chapter of our lives.
And first time in Korean.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. I've never tried to tell the story in Korean.
Oh, that's a first.
Yeah,
That's good,
yeah. And so thank you guys for just providing the space for us to, you know, selfishly have our own great life experiences too.
Oh, that's so awesome.
We
well,
learned so much.
Yeah,
and-
we, you know,
yeah.
it's so crazy having you guys here in Korea as well. And, you know, I'm so sad I missed your workshop, but I will catch you next time. And yes, once the link is up, I'll sign up.
But,
Are you going to be there? Are you going to join us?
No, you know what's ironic? I'm teaching the same night, but I teach in Kingpo.
Oh.
Yeah. Wait, is it this week?
Yes, Sunday.
Get it?
Okay, I'm going to look up right now. Okay, sounds good. But you're teaching in Kimpo.
I'm in Kingpo, yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go, we have a tradition where we provide gifts.
Oh, yeah, we have something.
Yeah.
We got something
And,
for you.
our previous guest.
Wait, we should give the,
Yeah.
I'll
Before
do that first. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Our previous guest was Andy Sama, who's a dear friend of ours, and he's a photographer. He's marketing. He also runs a clothing brand, and it's called Unsteady Markets.
Okay.
And he has provided you both with 2 shirts from his brand. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh, it's like short sleeve but long sleeve.
Yeah.
고맙습니다.
He's actually French.
oh yeah.
Merci.
Merci.
And then we have the next.
Yes.
All right, so here, I'll grab it.
Okay, I'll make the way.
For you guys to see our gift after receiving something so cool.
No, it's a thought that counts, right?
Yes, it's a thought that it's meant to be pretty random. I think Andy.
We'll give you random. We might even give you disappointment.
1 + 1.
All right, here we go. So should I do like a reveal, like an unboxing?
Yeah, let's
like
do
a
it.
unboxing. This will be the gift for our next guest.
Yes.
Okay.
So whoever it will be
Yeah.
will receive this gift. So you
Okay.
can, on behalf of the
Alright.
next guest.
All right, so it's a 2-part gift, all right? The first part will feel more underwhelming than the second. I'll let Ant do the second part.
Oh right. You're.
Oh.
Wait, you can use.
Okay, so Ant can do the cool part. I'll do the random part. So first part of this gift is our favorite snack our favorite snack in the world, just the Korean version. Enjoy. Flamin' Hot Cheetos. It really is our favorite snack in the world, though. So there is
It's
really some
good.
love in here. So we wanted to like express ourselves through this gift.
Yep.
So when you see the 2-part gift, this is truly anyone who knows us knows this is
Hey.
truly us. And then the second part. I got your mic.
It's one of our joyful beverages to go with our favorite snack. Some whiskey.
Wow.
Really, it's because this was just available at the store. But we're like, well, what would we like? And this is what we got.
That's perfect.
amazing.
Some whiskey and some Cheetos, hot Cheetos from Kinjaz,
Nice.
Mike and Anthony. Next guest, you're in for some good snack time.
A good time.
A good time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next time we don't even need to order the beer.
Let's do like a final
Cheers.
cheers.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Cheers.
you so much.
Thank y'all.
Cheers.
Yep.
And I guess
Something
we'll
like that.
dig into the food as well before as we close the pod. Cheers.
And we'll end it here.
Boom.
컷할게요.